For this week's video on the Evolved Jeeping channel, we're going to be answering the question of whether seat covers are worth adding to a Jeep Wrangler and whether the seat covers will actually work with the factory multi-paneled back front seats. What's up everyone, and how's it going? As I just mentioned in the intro for today's video, we're going to be installing a set of seat covers into our 2019 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. The seat covers we're installing are actually from a brand called Covers4Car. And surprisingly, the seat covers for a Jeep Wrangler are actually a new addition to their assortment. And on today's video, we're going to show you guys how to install them. We're going to show you guys how they look in the Jeep and how they fit. Seat covers have actually been something I've been looking for quite some time now. There are a bunch of options available online, especially on Amazon. And what's surprising about a lot of these covers you can get is not only are they designed to protect the inside of your vehicle, but they're also designed to kind of elevate the appearance. A lot of these seat covers offer some luxury style stitching on them. Typically, this style of stitching was primarily only available when you did a full reupholstery, but nowadays they've kind of upped their game and the seat covers now have these details built into them. For myself, as I just mentioned, I have been looking for seat covers to add to the Harlequin, but unfortunately I have faced a little bit of an issue with this because I'm limited because of the style of the front seats. The front seats that we have in our Jeep are the factory leather seats with the plastic molded rear panel. Unfortunately, a lot of the options available online aren't designed to work with this rear multi-panel system. There are a few brands out there, in particular one from PRP, but unfortunately, they're a little bit out of my budget. They're a little bit expensive, and honestly, because I do have the leather seats, I didn't really want to spend that much money on a seat cover that I don't really need. So I've been kind of waiting to find one in the cheaper range, but unfortunately, none of them work with this style seat. It wasn't until Covers4Car reached out to me that I actually thought I'd ever find an option that would work with these seats. Covers4Car emailed me asking me if I wanted to review their product. I said, yeah, of course. I'm always looking to, create new content and show new products. I told them what seats I have and I said, do you have a cover for this seat? They said yes and no. The reason they say yes and no is because they told me that they don't have a cover that will technically work with this piece, but their seat covers are actually designed to go over the entire top half of the seat, and they will still work, but they will cover this panel. So you won't have access to this panel anymore. I took some time to kind of think about this and I was like, you know what, do I use this panel? No, not really. And typically in the back of the Jeep, I usually have Wrangler, my Bernese Mountain Dog's dog hammock. So usually I've got the hammock installed in the back of the Jeep and I can't even get to those panels. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be that a problem. So I told them, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's try their covers out. So in today's video, not only am I going to be installing these covers and showing you guys what they're all about, but we're also going to be confirming if they will in fact fit over this plastic molded panel and if it'll actually be useful and fit well. So guys, Covers4Car is actually not a new brand to the market. They've actually been in the market for quite some time now. Currently, they actually offer a wide variety of kits for many different vehicles. And surprisingly, not only do they offer the custom vehicle specific kits, but they also offer some universal kits that are designed to work on any vehicle with the same size seat. This kit right here is their new custom vehicle specific kit that is designed particularly for the Jeep Wrangler JL. So unlike the universal kits where you kind of have to make the seat covers work, this kit is cut and molded to fit perfectly on the factory seats. This kit currently goes for about $285, and again, the price is kind of going to vary depending on when you're watching this video. Obviously, pricing changes from year to year, so possibly if you watch this a year from now, the price might have changed a little bit, but at this moment in time, the current price is $285, which is actually pretty good considering what you're getting. This kit is available in a few different colors. You can get it in the all black, which is what we're installing on the Harlequin today. You can also get it in black with red stitching and red piping. You can get it in black with white stitching and white piping. And you can get it in black with blue stitching and blue piping. As you can see, we are kind of limited on color options. And I think this is because this kit is still new to them. So they're kind of just testing out the market to see how it does. I am hoping that if they see success with this, that they'll start to introduce some new colorways. When I started doing some research on Covers4Cars and going through a website, I noticed a bunch of different colorways that they have available for different vehicles. So I'm hoping that as soon as they start to see success with this kit, they start to add some of those colorways for the Jeep Wrangler, because I know there's a bunch of you out there that would probably be interested in some of the unique colorways they have to offer. If you're interested in this kit or looking to see what other kits they might have available for some other vehicles, what I will do, like I always do, is I will put the links for this product and their website in the description below, and you can click on it and check it out for yourself. What we're going to do in today's video is install these seat covers, but before we can get into the installation, what we're going to do is unbox this product to show you guys what it comes with. This is the packaging for the seat covers. Obviously, when the seat covers are shipped to you, they're shipped in a brown box, but when you pull the product out of the box, you get this packaging bag right here. Obviously, this is just a packaging bag that holds the covers. It's not strong or anything. You can see it's actually started to rip here and on the edges, but that doesn't really matter because you're most likely just gonna throw this out after you put the covers on. To open the bag, all you're gonna do is unzip it along the edge, flip this open, and then you can see the covers. So I have to say, these look amazing. The feeling of these are actually, wow, that's a really nice feeling. The leather or the PU they're using, I don't think it's a leather, I think it's a PU, is super smooth. It's not like cheap feeling. It actually has a nice texture to it. It's like, just, yeah, super impressed by the feeling of it. Can't wait to, have these on the Jeep. Before we take a look at what else comes in this bag, let's just take a look at the craftsmanship on the cover themselves. So this first one. From somebody who used to do boxing glove design and has experience with like foams and leather stitching, I have to say that the stitching details are really nicely done. Definitely probably done with a machine, but super clean, like a 3D machine or a programmable machine. Super nice. The edges look good. All the stitching looks pretty nice. You have a little edge, finishing edge here, but I don't think that's gonna matter because I think this is hidden here anyways. Along the edge, consistent, very, very clean. Really impressed by the stitching of this. So this piece, I think, is actually the driver's side bottom panel, because we have a hole here, which is for, I believe, the handle, the lumbar support handle. So this is the bottom part. The inside, we've got some straps and stuff probably used to tie it down. It looks like the PU is foam backed, which is also means that we're getting that cushiony feel, which is going to mean that we're not only adding a cover to it, but we're adding some extra cushion to the seat. So can't wait to see how this performs. So driver's side bottom, that's one. Then we've got another one, looks the exact same. I'm assuming this is the passenger side bottom. Then we've got some headrest covers. I believe that these are the headrest covers. Looks like we've got 5 of them here. I believe these are for the rears. These 2 are the rears. This is probably the center one. So center one. And all of these covers seem to have some Velcro on them to connect and hold them. And then we've got, looks like the front ones right here, which again, has some hook and loop or Velcro on the inside to close them up. So we've got a total of 5, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear, and 1 for the middle. Then we've got 2 other panels right here. These look like they are probably for the cup holder armrest in the rear seat. So this is probably gonna go on that, you know, because I think you got a tie down piece there and a pull piece. So I'm assuming that this is for those. So we've got these 2 pieces there. Then we've got, it looks like the back for the front seat. So this is the back for the front seat. So you can see the covers kind of do look the same as a JL design, just with the more details on them. So really nice. In the inside, we got some hook and loop tie downs and some tie downs here. Yeah, looks good. On the back, we've got a zipper here, probably help to close it on. And we've got a pocket. So even though that these are gonna be covering the MOLLE panel backing for our Jeep Wrangler, we're still gonna have a type of pocket on the back. So we've got one there. Then it looks like we've got the other side. So same thing. Again, guys, quality of this, really, really nice. Super impressed by the quality of them. And now we've got what's got to be the back seat stuff. So this is probably, you know, you have your 40 for your 60/40. This is the smaller part of the back seat. Hook and loop, zipper. It does cover the whole thing. So this is gonna be a little bit more, it's a full backing, which is nice because if you know on the back of the Jeep Wrangler, you have a carpet here, this is gonna protect that as well. So really excited that there's a full cover there. Then we've got, looks like this would probably be the bottom part for the larger section of the seat. So this is the 60/40 bottom part. We've got that there. We're running out of room here. And then we've got the smaller part for the back seat. Again, just tie downs and straps to hold it. So it's gonna be really easy installation, I think. And then we've got the large piece for the rear seat with an opening for the cup holder fold down part. And the last thing we have inside of here, we've got, let's open this up. Looks like we've got a little bit of a tool to help us put the seat covers in place. And we've got some hooks and some disc ring things. So these are all gonna be used during the installation. So that is all the parts we have. So I guess we can go ahead and start the first part of the installation. So for the installation, to help reduce the length of today's video, I decided I'm gonna be doing a voiceover instead of showing you guys the original footage. This will give me the ability to focus on the key steps of the installation instead of the entire process, which actually turned out to be a little bit longer than expected. So starting with the front seats, we actually started with the bottom seat cover. We started on the driver's side, and to identify the driver's side panel, you're going to get the one with the hole located on the side. This panel has 3 straps located on the back side. On the sides, it has an elastic strap with a plastic hook attached to it. And then in the front, we have 3 elastic straps with buckles on those. The first thing we're going to do is take the 3 straps and the little flap located on the back side of the seat cover and simply slide them between the top half of the seat and the bottom half. Then you're going to take the side of the cover and slide it around the handle. Then you're going to go ahead and slide the hole around the lumbar support dial. You're then going to take the elastic strap with the plastic hook and pull it under the seat and connect it to the front and forward adjustment bar located on the underside. So you're going to repeat that on the other side of the seat. Then you're going to go to the back of the seat and pull the 3 straps all the way through. Then once you have the straps pulled all the way through the seat, you're going to take those straps and take them on the underside of the seat towards the front of the seat cover. You're then going to attach those straps to the buckles on the front side. Once you have all 3 buckles secured, you're simply going to go ahead and tighten up the straps, making the seat cover tight around the bottom half of the seat. For this, you will have to massage and adjust the seat so that it falls into the right location. For the top half of the seat, you're going to take the cover, undo the zipper on the side. Then on the inside of the back, you're going to remove the fabric packaging tape from the hook tape that's located on the inside. Once you do that, you're going to then take the 2 elastic straps located on that panel, and you're going to attach the metal hooks to them. I do have to apologize right now because unfortunately I was not able to capture the point of view footage for this, so I can't really show you guys a better angle of this step. Once you have those hooks attached, you're then going to lean the seat back because we need to go ahead and remove the headrest. To remove the headrest, all you're going to do is simply press the 2 buttons located underneath the headrest. This is going to give you the ability to pull the headrest all the way out. Once the headrest is removed, we're going to simply go ahead and slide the cover over the top half of the seat. Make sure that the pocket is located on the backside. Then we're going to go back around to the front of the seat, and we're going to take the 3 flaps located on the front of the cover and simply slide them through the seat, similar to where we did the 3 straps for the bottom cover. Once you have those somewhat through, you're going to go around to the back of the seat and simply pull them all the way through. Again, I do have to apologize because I was not able to capture the footage from the point of view to show you guys a better angle of this step. Once you have those 3 straps pulled all the way through, you're then going to go ahead and do up the zipper on the side. Again, sorry, I don't have the footage to show you guys of that either. Then once we've done that, we're going to take the provided tool and press the top of the seat cover around the headrest mount locations. This is pretty simple to do. All you have to do is kind of work the cover around the plastic eyelid. Once you've got it, again, sorry I don't have the footage to show you guys a better angle of this. Once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and kind of, again, work the cover into place. You're going to go back around to the backside, pull the 3 flaps all the way through, making it super tight, and then simply take those flaps and you're going to wrap them around the backside and secure them on the inside of the rear of the cover. After that, you're going to take the 2 elastic straps with the metal hooks that we attached to them and simply pull that down around the underside of the seat and connect it to another metal bar located on the underside. For the headrest, you're going to simply go ahead and lean the seat back once again. Then you're going to go ahead and reinstall the headrest. Make sure that when you are installing the headrest that you don't press it all the way down to the bottom because you will need to access the underside of the headrest to secure the cover. You're then going to take the smaller pair of the 4 headrest covers and simply take that cover and slide it over the headrest. You want to make sure that the smaller panel of that cover is located on the front side. When sliding this cover around, you do want to make sure that the inside tabs are not getting caught up. One recommendation I do have is when you are pulling this cover down over the headrest that you don't pull on those tabs because unfortunately I did end up ripping that tab. What you want to do is simply squeeze the headrest and pull the cover down at the same time. This is the best way that I found to get these covers onto the headrests themselves.
Once the headrest is in place, you're going to take the tab located on the back side and pull it underneath between the two bars towards the front side. You want to make sure that the side tabs are also folded up underneath that tab. And then you're simply going to go ahead and secure it to the inside of the front of the headrest. Then we went on to the rear seats, and we started with the base of the smaller section of the rear seat. The cover for the base of the rear seats are pretty similar to the covers for the base of the front seats. They have the straps on the rear and the buckles on the front. The only difference is the two elastic straps on the sides don't have the plastic hook. Instead, we actually have to go ahead and install these plastic rings. These are really easy to install. All you do is wrap the strap around them, and then those are going to be used to secure to the underside. The first step to install this cover is, again, to simply go ahead and push the straps with the flaps through the base and the top of the seat. Once you've got those somewhat through, you're then going to go ahead and position the seat cover around the base. Then you're going to fold the seat down and pull the two straps through the seat. When doing this, this should pull the tabs for the seat cover through as well. Then you're going to go ahead and fold the seat back up. And then on the sides, you're going to take those elastic straps with the discs attached and simply stretch them as far as you can, and then secure them to the metal brackets located on the underside. Again, you're going to do that on both sides. Then you're going to take the straps that we have already ran down under the seats and connect them to the two buckles on the front of the cover. And then again, simply tighten everything in place. The cover for the upper part of the smaller rear section is actually pretty similar to the upper part of the front seats. The only difference with this one is we don't have the two elastic straps on the backside, and the top of the seat is not a closed piece. It actually has some Velcro flaps on the top to go around the fold down headrest for the back seats. The first step is to undo those flaps so that it's going to be easy to get around the headrest. The second step is to remove the protective fabric packaging piece from the inside hook tape located on the back of the cover. Once we have that removed, we're then going to simply go ahead and slide the cover over top of the headrest and the back seat. When doing this, make sure to undo the zipper on the side. It will make it a lot easier, as you see I did right here. Then you're going to take the flaps on the top side of the cover and slide them under the headrest towards the back. You might need to fold the headrest down to make this a little bit easier. Then on the front of the seat, at the bottom of the cover, you're going to push the flap that's located on the cover through and in between the seats, similar to what you did for the straps on the bottom cover. Then once again, fold the seat down. You're going to pull that flap all the way through. Then secure the flaps on the top of the seat to the inside of the back of the cover. Then, making sure it's fully tight, you're then going to attach the bottom flap to, again, the inside of the back of the cover. Then for the rear headrest, you're going to take the larger pair of headrest covers and simply go ahead and slide it over top of the headrest, similar to what you did on the front. Remember, when doing this, you do want the little flap to be on the back side of the headrest. Once you've got the cover onto the headrest, you're going to take that little flap and simply pull it around the underside of the headrest towards the front, which then you're going to secure it on the inside of that cover. Make sure that you do have the two side flaps secured under the flap. So for the large section of the rear seat, the bottom panel is actually the exact same as the other side. Not much different. Basically, all you have is a few different straps and flaps that need to go through the seat towards the underside. Once you've got those through, you're simply going to bring the strap around and connect it to the buckles. And on the sides, you're going to have the elastic straps, which you're going to have to install the plastic discs, which then are going to secure to the underside of the metal bracket for the seat. The upper cover for the top of the large section rear seat is a little bit different than the small section. The reason is because you do have the fold down armrest. Once you've got it, the main difference is where the fold down armrest is, you have an elastic panel that you need to disconnect and slide over top of that armrest. And on the back, you have a center zipper instead of a side zipper. To start the installation, you're going to undo that Velcro tab for the armrest. You're going to fold the armrest down and simply slide the cover around the armrest to start. Once you've got the armrest somewhat through, you're then going to slide the top or the back of the passenger side seat over top of the headrest and down around the back. You're then going to also work the back of the middle section around the back side of the seat as well. Then on the bottom of the fold down armrest, you're going to take the flap and slide it underneath that armrest so that it goes in behind it. Once behind, you're then going to simply go ahead and secure it to the inside of that cover. After that, you're going to go ahead and fold the seat down and tighten up the center zipper. Then back to the front of the seat, you're going to take the flaps located on the bottom of the cover and simply push them through to the back side of the seat. Then, similar to what you did on the other seat, you're going to simply pull that flap through and secure it to the inside of the back of the cover. Make sure that you do remove the fabric protective thing from the hook tape or else it won't stick. Once you've got it, and then the final step is just kind of work everything into place and tighten up everything you need. Then we're going to simply go ahead and install the other headrests on the other side. The next part is to install the covers for the fold down. The first step is to fold the armrest down and then go ahead and remove the headrest part of that fold down armrest. Once you've got it, again, just press the clips in and pull out. Then you're going to take the cover that is a little bit more square and actually has a square cut in the back side of it and simply go ahead and slide that around the fold down armrest. On the top of this armrest, we're going to go ahead and use the tool once again to simply press the cover around the headrest anchors. Then on the front of the cover, you're going to take the flap with the elastic straps and simply slide it once you've got under the armrest towards the backside. For the next step, I'm actually not sure if I did it actually correct. For this cover on the front and the back, it actually has two sets of elastic straps. Somehow these are supposed to connect. I'm not sure exactly what the right step was, but what I did was I simply went ahead and just tied them tight together. Again, not sure if this was the right thing to do, but it seemed to have worked for what I needed because once I did this, I wasn't able to remove that cover. Next, I went ahead and reinstalled the headrest part of the fold-down armrest. Make sure when you install this that you once again don't go all the way down to the bottom because you do need to access the underside to secure the cover. This cover is a little bit different than the other headrest. For this one, all you're going to do is undo the Velcro strap on the backside. You're then going to take the elastic strap and pull it and simply slide the cover over top of the headrest. Then you're going to take the elastic strap, go underneath the headrest, and then go back to secure it on the backside. Again, this is designed this way to work with the cup holders that are on the backside. Then once you're done that, you can simply go ahead and fold the armrest back up in place. As you can see here, I kind of struggled a little bit getting the armrest to click back in place. This, I think, has to do with clearance issue, which I will kind of mention in a little bit later in this video. The last cover that we're going to install is actually for the front armrest. Honestly, I didn't expect them to provide a cover for this piece, but it's really nice that they did, because I know if you are someone who has like the sport model or maybe even the Sahara, you don't get a leather wrapped armrest. So having this cover is going to give you the ability to, cover up that basic plastic one. To install this cover is actually really simple. All you're going to do is open up the armrest and then simply slide the cover over, extending the elastic straps. Once you've got it slid on, it is pretty much on. There's no tightness needed or anything. It just simply stays in place with the elastic straps.
And just like that, the seat covers are in the Jeep. Overall, guys, I have to say the installation of these seat covers was actually pretty simple and definitely very straightforward. In fact, the seat covers didn't even come with any instructions. I was able to figure out how to install them by just simply puzzling it together. One shape to one, undo this, undo that, connect that, connect that. It was pretty straightforward and honestly kind of idiot proof. And I feel like most people should be able to figure it out on their own. For the installation, one thing I am pretty impressed about is the fact that to install these seat covers, you don't actually need any tools. They provide you with everything you might need. The only thing you probably need for this installation is a set of strong fingers. The reason I say that is because for these seat covers, you have to do a lot of pulling and pushing to get the seat covers to fall into the right place. So if you are someone who has weak fingers or possibly, nice fancy nails, possibly you might want to ask someone else to do the installation for you. Besides that, installation was pretty straightforward and kind of fun, fun and satisfying. So definitely, if you are purchasing these and installing them, enjoy the installation. Well, guys, at this point, I'm not going to give you guys my final thoughts and opinions about the seats just yet. The reason is because as these seat covers are still new, they still need to settle into place. What I mean by that is with all new seat covers, the material tends to be a little bit tight and needs to stretch out a little bit to conform better to the seats themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some time, mainly just this week, to use the vehicle, sit in the seat covers, and hopefully by the end of this week, right before I post this video, the seats will have settled a little bit. And then at that point, I'll wrap this video up and show you guys how the seats have conformed and give you guys my final thoughts. Just so you guys know, I want to show you guys what I mean by that is basically these seats are nice and tight, but they're floating a little bit. So they need to settle and stretch out a little bit to conform better to the actual seat. So that is what I'm referring to by settling. But before we break for a bit to do that part, I do want to point out a few little things that might be important to review when we do go to wrap this video up. The first thing I want to mention has to do with the fit. So for the front seats, I am actually pretty impressed by the fit. They seem to be really tight. You can see here, everything's clean. As I mentioned here, they're floating a little bit, so we'll have to see how that conforms. Up at the top here, we do have this little bit of a weird bump here. So hopefully as that settled, that will get fixed. The headrests, you know, little indentations, maybe that will change throughout. Down around the bottom edge, we do have some weird things going on. You know, we have this might not change, but maybe it will. Those are all just little things that I've noticed, but overall, you honestly can't tell that these aren't factory. For the fit on the back, this is where it gets a little bit wonky. So unfortunately, the back seats are not as good a fit as the front. So we'll start just here with the edges. You can see as we roll around, things are just a little wonky. Some of this might settle out. Up here, we've got some weird bends here. Again, all of this might settle over time as these sit and stretch. Here is where I think we have a little bit of an issue with the pattern, and that is right this location. Something wonky is going on there, and I'm not sure that that is going to change with settling. Possibly during the week, I'll kind of pull that to kind of see if I can get it to fit a little nicer, but for now, that is one little eyesore that I have with this cover. You know, see here, you got a little bit of floating here. The other big concern I have is, well, actually, I should point out here too, another weird thing here. But the other big concern I have has to do with that center fold down armrest. I did mention this already, but we're going to point it out again. Unfortunately, with the complexity of this piece and the fact that it's a fold down armrest, it doesn't really fit that great. You can see the pocket's not fitting that well, but it's not because it doesn't fit well, it's because there's a lot of friction between the two covers and the body. So when you pull this down, you can see it a little bit more. And you can see here, all of this pulls tightly in, but unfortunately, because they actually use the same material here as the main body, which is a thick like PU leather, this is causing a little bit of a clearance issue with the armrest, which prevents it from even closing and staying latched. So a little disappointing there. What I would suggest for them, if they're making revisions and watch this video, is to change this material to a super thin material that's strong enough to hold it in place, but also allows for clearance. And they could probably do the same for like the sides here. You know, you don't need that to be leather. Maybe this part is leather only, but yeah, just small things I would suggest for that. And that would help with the closing part, because as you can see, it doesn't close unless I pound it in the middle, which I can't do right now because I have a camera in my hand, but kind of disappointing. For myself, most likely what I'm either going to try and do is play with that during the week to get it to fit better, or I actually might go ahead and remove it. One more thing that might be important to kind of check out so that we can review it on the final close out of this video is the back of the front seats. And to see this better, let's just simply go around to the other side of the vehicle. And we can show you guys here on the back of the driver's side. So as you guys saw in the instructions and the beginning of the video, what we did is we installed the seat cover, which was going to go ahead and cover the factory plastic molded MOLLE panel backing that we have on the seats. As you can see, they're fully covered. You can't tell that the MOLLE panel is there. If you press in, you do get an indent. This is probably only because of the MOLLE panel. If you had the regular solid back seats and a sport, you're not going to have that. That's going to be fabric. But because of this, you get this opening. As a result, that actually might be a good thing because it might give you more flexibility to add larger things in here, or it could actually turn out to be a bad thing because it could lead to sagging. That's something we're going to have to see over time. For now, we won't be able to see it. And you know, maybe we'll see the settling happen in the week, but I doubt that because I don't put anything in. Maybe I'll put something in here to show you guys. But overall, it's not bad. I'm pretty happy about the way it looks. I thought I was going to be a little wonky, but honestly, you can't even tell that the MOLLE panel is back there. The only people who are going to know it are the people watching this video that saw the beginning of this, and myself. Anybody who jumps in the back of the vehicle is going to have no clue. They're just going to be like, oh, cool, a pocket. But they're not going to know that there's this plastic other part underneath. So pretty happy to see that it does in fact work. So I guess at this point, maybe we can confirm that these seat covers do work if you have the plastic molded MOLLE panel backing on your front seats. So that's good to see, but we'll still have to see how it settles at the end of this week.
If you're prepared to break the silence, I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down and on my knees and I may fall as I'm so close to the edge.
And just like that, we're back. It's been about 5 days since we last installed the covers. And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, we actually haven't seen any settling occur in the covers. This technically is not surprising to me because with this style of material, which is a pretty high quality material, it's not surprising that within 5 days, we haven't seen any stretching or anything occur. Eventually you will see settling occur. This is a typical thing that happens with all seat covers. I have a feeling with this style of material, it's probably going to happen within, a month or so. Also kind of dependent on weather. Right now we are in winter months. As you can see, we got some snow today. So with the colder weather, they're probably going to take a little bit more time before it stretches out. But if you're in the warmer weather, most likely the material will stretch out a little faster. This is typically a normal thing, so don't worry, it's not uncommon. One thing to note that is once the seat covers start to settle, you will have to go ahead and most likely adjust some of the straps. You might have to just tighten them up so that the new settled seat covers fit into the seats a little bit better. Things are going to get loose and you just simply tighten it up. Because we didn't notice any settling, I can't really give you any feedback about how that's went. But the feedback I can give you about the seat covers, now that I've used them for the week, is that honestly, I really like them. I have to say that every time I opened up the door and got in the Jeep, I really felt like the seats were almost brand new. I feel like the seat covers give it a upgraded appearance with the, stitching details and the material itself. All of that just gave it a real premium look. Speaking of material, as I did mention, this material is a little bit softer than the factory one. And one thing I noticed after using them is that I felt a little bit more planted in the seat. What I feel like is that because this material is softer, it's also a little bit more grippy than the factory leather. Possibly that's just because my factory seats are worn down, but with these seat covers, I feel like that I truly didn't move around as much as I did with the factory one. So really like this material. Other than that, I don't really have anything crazy to tell you guys. Oh, a couple things I did do to the seat covers is I actually went ahead and removed the armrest for both the front and the back. The reason I removed the front one is because I felt that the cover they provided, though it did work, was a little bit loose, and also it kind of moved around from time to time. I'd move on it and it kind of shifted. So I decided that because I already have the black leather anyways, I would simply pull it off and just rock the factory material, which does match in my opinion. And then for the rear, because we had a little bit of a tolerance issue, the covers that they provided, though they did fit, were a little bit loose. And that was mainly due to the fact that when you went to close it, it kind of wrinkled the material. And also when you went to close it, you had difficulties getting it to latch on. So I decided, because again, running the factory leather and it is black, that I would simply go ahead and remove it. And I think that it works. You can tell here that it doesn't look mismatchy. There's a little bit of a gloss finish. It's a little bit different, but I think it works just fine. So I figured I'd pull it off just to give it a better look and rock that until I kind of want to change it. If anyone out there is running the fold down armrest for the rear seats, that most likely means that you do have the premium leather. So because they only currently offer 4 different options, which are all black base, you could go ahead and simply not install those pieces and run it just with the factory leather. But I do hope that they do make some adjustments to it, because it needs to work. Especially if they're going to come out and bring out some different colored leathers, like maybe a red. Then if you are getting a red seat cover, you definitely are going to want to put those covers on so that it all blends together, because it probably would look a little weird with the black armrest there. For anyone who doesn't have that armrest, then you're not going to have an issue at all. If you are looking for a seat cover, what I mentioned is I'm going to put the links for their website and this particular seat cover in the description below. You can click on it and check out all the details about this product. If you're interested in picking up a set and buying it, because this video was in collaboration with Covers4Cars, they actually offered a discount code called Jeeping10. You can actually use that code on their website and save yourself 10% on your order. Before I get into wrapping today's video up, I do want to thank Covers4Car for sending me this product and giving me the opportunity to review them. As I mentioned, seat covers have been a thing that I've been looking for quite some time, and it's great to finally find a seat cover that works with the factory plastic MOLLE panel backing, because I honestly didn't think I'd found one. So again, if you do have that backing, these seat covers will work. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions or comments about anything I showed in today's video, feel free to comment below and I'll do the best to answer it as soon as I can. And to wrap this up, as I usually state, keep evolving, and we'll see you guys on the next video.